Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
All right, party people, welcome back to another fantabulous episode of Zero Dark Nerdy, the world's most notorious pop culture podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and our good friends over at the number one betting site online, that is betonline.ag. On this episode, we are going to be talking about all things DCEU with the newly rebranded DC Studios being ran by the one and only, the incredible James Gunn, as well as producer Peter Safran. So we're going to be talking about some highs, some lows, what we're definitely interested in, but most importantly, covering a lot of the shows and movies that have the most question marks to it, that maybe don't have the most diehard fans as your Batmans and Supermans of the world. So joining me on this episode, we have Kyle Murphy and Lizzie Garcia, two comic book aficionados, dropping some nice nuggets for us. And as we actually started this episode a little early, we are going to get right into it. So hope you enjoy. We definitely want to hear some feedback from you, and stay tuned for more.
I will say Marvel selling everything kind of gave the MCU this strange serendipity where they had these like C grade characters, and C grade characters have really boring powers, but they also have really interesting stories. And so, I mean, mind you, you can do a lot of Batman. You can't always do a lot with Superman unless you know what you're doing. And so I think DC has stumbled out of the gate because they've had their best characters. And it's just like, okay, what do we do with that?
Right.
But, you know, when you have to start with the bottom of the barrel, that's where you get interesting. You know, that's why Suicide Squad by James Gunn works so well, because James Gunn knows how to work with garbage.
Yeah.
Your garbage characters is where you get the interesting stuff. That's when it works. So Booster Gold has so much potential. I mean, this
actually right instead of
I know, yeah.
Like, oh look, Superman, he can burst through walls. All right,
yeah.
So then what else matters? That you can just do everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Booster Gold, meanwhile, just runs into walls that he puts on himself, and it is glorious because he doesn't understand. Booster Gold is an idiot. And it's wonderful. And I, for one, want more idiots in comics. More idiots in comic book movies 2023.
There you go. So you know, for our fans out there that aren't familiar with Booster Gold, can you just give a little bit of background about the comics, the story? Because I mean,
Gold
there's a lot of people out there that, you know, a lot of fans out there are like, who is, what is going on? And that's what I want to do with this episode, is explain why this is going to be interesting and why it's going to be great for DC.
He's an absolute loser. So he's from the future, and in his time period, he's a loser. He's like, no, everyone hates him. He's a loser. And so he comes to the past and he's like, I have future technology. I can save all of you. Mm-hmm. But when you're a bumbling fool, you're going to be a bumbling fool no matter what year it is.
Yeah.
Intelligence, technology does not help you if you're just stupid. So he comes to our time, like modern times, and he's like, I'm going to help you, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And they just watch him run around and make bigger messes. And so Batman's often like, please just stay put. Please stop moving.
Yeah.
Please stop doing things. And so he just makes bigger messes. And he's like, but I have the technology to fix it. And then he messes up even more. But he's not even aware he's messing up.
Right.
It's like if Michael Scott was a superhero.
Pretty accurate.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's fantastic.
Heart of gold, but no brains between.
No brains.
No, just whatever he does, he just does it full scale and then doesn't think about it.
It's literally the only thing going through his brain is just like the streaming service Peacock, but it's just playing The Office all day. He has no idea. He has not a single brain cell in his little blonde head.
He did that. They did him pretty well in the. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the. Oh, thank you. The comic run where they did it was all about mental health. He's in it. All the superheroes go through PTSD, and they're all with this special ranch that like helps them with
Hero in Crisis.
That's it. Thank you. Heroes in Crisis. I think that was the best I've ever seen him portray.
Yeah.
I've seen him a lot of animated stuff. He's usually really dumb and goofy.
Yeah.
He's interesting, like the new Tom King.
He's on
Target.
the cover of Heroes in Crisis too, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I think no.
Yeah. Tom King writes Booster Gold incredibly well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that new Human Target runs really good, and he's a little side spot in it, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's opening a bagel shop. It doesn't make any sense. And
he because there's
from the past because he just travels and like you said, they keep screwing up and like it's just like one dumb thing after the other. And to cut costs on his bagel shop, he goes back in time to where there's lots of it, like hay in this one place for our special bagels. You're like, why? What? Okay, and then he's going to it's awesome.
So, are you two as fans of him? Like I said, I am. This is the first time I've ever.
It depends on who casts him.
Well, are you more excited that the fact that it's going to be a show?
It has to be a show.
It has to be.
It couldn't possibly be a movie, and it has to be. Depending on, do we know what date it's set up in, like in what order yet, or we just know it's
that's
coming?
the thing. That was of everything I did the research on. That was like the very minimal amount of. It was just like, hey, it's based on this time machine.
I think it matters. I think it matters if they give them any context beforehand, and then they give them the show. If they just show up and it's like, hey, I'm Booster Gold, like they did that whole thing. I mean, it could still be cool. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the best writer.
Okay.
Or a writer at all or anything. But,
I think Alan Tudyk would be a great Booster
Gold.
Oh
my God. That would be amazing. He's too old though. He's got to be younger, unfortunately.
It doesn't matter.
I would take Alan.
We have the technology.
We do. And he's wearing the things the whole time. So makeup with you know what? I take it back. He's perfect. That is actually a perfect representation of who else would
casting call right here. Zero Dark Nerdy. Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, who else would even be? I mean, like if we had to go like top three, he's number one. But like, I just
who else would y'all like to see in that?
That's what I can't even think of another person who I would like to see in that role. Now that you said Alan Tudyk, I can't. There's no one else that comes in there.
That's a good thing though.
But like I'm like been trying to go back. Yeah.
Owen Wilson's character from Zoolander specifically.
Hansel?
Yeah.
That's right. I love Hansel. And then I was tripping on mushrooms. And I'm like, wait a second. I've never been to that mountain. Wow. Cool story. Thanks, Olaf. That's a great I love that character. Yeah. And 10 years ago, he'd be perfect.
All right, so the next one, I want to stay on the Tom King thing because Supergirl, we're going to go to movies now, Woman of Tomorrow, based on the Tom King stories of Supergirl. How do we feel about that?
I think it's funny that they're like pulling just everything from Tom King.
They really
Tom King
are.
is getting
I met him at
paid.
New York Comic Con, and he's so chill.
Yeah,
I've met Tom King many times,
Yeah.
and he is the best human.
He really is.
He seems super cool.
Super laid back.
He got nervous when I met him at Comic-Con a couple of years ago when he had just gotten done doing the Batman run. And I'm like, wow, I really liked your Batman. And he goes, are you serious? Or I'm like, yeah, like I actually like it. Like it got me back into Batman. Fine. And he's like, all right, like waiting for the other shoe to drop or me to like install. I'm like, no, man, thanks. Like, what can I buy for you? Like, I already own all your comics, but like, how about a poster? He's like, cool. All right. You can see it like a wash over, like, okay, this guy doesn't hate me, doesn't want to get mad at me about how I ended Batman or whatever. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It was great. I loved it.
Back in the day, when I was still doing comic journalism, and he like knew me, and he was next to Clayman at the time, and he was like, all right, you're a woman. And I was like, this is an interesting start. He goes, and it was for Heroes in Crisis. It wasn't out yet. And he goes, this is too much boob for Harley Quinn. And he shows me Clayman's drawing of Harley. And I was like, that's just a push-up bra. And Clay goes, thank you. Women wear those. And I was like, I was like, I don't want to be the reason.
You're like, am I qualified?
I was like, I don't. And I was like, she looks fine. And he was like, are you sure that's not too much boob? And I was like, I think I'm too gay for this question, guys. I was like, I don't know if I should be answering this. But I think King is an excellent writer. I think Supergirl Tomorrow is actually a very interesting and brilliant choice. I think picking things that are a little outside of maybe what the norm of the character is. And I think the reason of that is we already have a Supergirl show. And I think Gunn knows that. I think he knows that if you want a more traditional Supergirl story, you have the CW version. So this is kind of a more outside the box option that does better as a Hollywood blockbuster. So I kind of appreciate that choice. And I think Gunn is being he's being a bit more, he's looking at what's been already done. He's not only what's been done on the CW, but what's been done previously, like prior to even DCU. And he's saying, okay, how do we elevate this? He's picking elevated choices. And I think that's intelligent of him.
On that CW note, can we just get the other Flash in from the show and just put him in the new thing? I don't even care. I just want someone other than Ezra Miller. Like I was meant to say that earlier. I like the guy from the show. I think he's perfect for it. Like just put him in that outfit and just call it a day.
I think they should just do what they did with Kevin Spacey and put Christopher Plummer.
He could just jump in. Like it's not like he's doing anything else.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's that in demand of an actor where they couldn't take.
What is Christopher Plummer doing right now?
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It could still happen.
Just I mean, I'm all about it.
I really love the idea of replace all problematic people with Christopher Plummer.
Oh my god, that wouldn't be weird at all in the continuity of any universe, but I would love it.
Well, the thing is, I mean, with everything coming out this year, and we talked about this on our 2023 movie preview, it's like, the majority of these movies are going to be null and void. Like it's already been rumored that Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo, which will be awesome. Like that's the perfect role for him. But it's like, how do you shift from Aquaman to Lobo so quickly? I mean, obviously it won't be quickly. They're going to do their thing just like Marvel's doing their thing after they bought Fox. We all knew that they weren't going to come out with X-Men and Fantastic Four immediately. They're going to let the dust die down a little bit.
Yeah.
Let everybody, get to know these other characters and this, that, and the other. And, to that note, as far as other characters, the animated show coming out, Creature Commandos, James Gunn is writing, going to be on HBO. It's going to have his brother playing Weasel coming back, but also has Bride of Frankenstein, Rick Flag Sr., and I mean, we've always known this, and we've talked about this before, Kyle. Like the DC animated movies are fire. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I like a lot of
absolutely fantastic. So, and I mean, I especially love the new Harley version that the Harley
Quinn show is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Creature Commandos, which is going to tie into the Waller show in an unanimated way, because Viola Davis is going to play Waller as a voice in Creature Commandos, but then she's going to play herself, obviously, in the Waller show, which is going to tie in.
Viola Davis and EGOT.
EGOT. We posted it today on social media. EGOT.
It's going to be on an animated show. I love that for her. I think the success of the Harley Quinn show has shown that obviously there is an interest, and I appreciate that while Netflix is cutting their animation division to hell, we're seeing a growth in animation on Warner Brothers side, which I love. That's important. I also think DC's animated movies, the past few, have had some stumbles, so I'm happy to see more original content as opposed to maybe just. I don't appreciate when they say we're going to do a classic story and then we change the ending because a bunch of people know the ending. We don't stop. Whether it be Killing Joke, whether it be Hush, whether it be The Long Halloween.
That was frustrating.
And it's like, what are you doing? Stop. That's not necessary. It's like, there's a reason that was the ending. That was the correct ending. The Riddler was never Hush. Like, what are you? Spoilers for the worst movie you've ever seen. It's okay. Read the book. I own 4 copies of Batman Hush just because 2 I read and 2 are collector's editions. It's fine. That's a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
You never know. one might burn down. We will need 3 more.
Yeah. If you had to go back in the house for things like,
right,
heirlooms, then your one copy for sure.
You grab the 2 cats.
Yeah.
You grab the Court of Owls, and you grab Batman Hush.
Not replaceable at all. Got it. Yeah.
Right. They're signed. She got to do what she got to do. So, I do appreciate that we're putting more resources into animation. I think that is an art that is really important to the legacy of comics, to the legacy of Warner Brothers in general. I mean, you look at so many fans grew up on Batman anime series, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, things like that. And so it makes perfect sense for those fans to continue watching animation and to continue onward. I mean, I'm that fan. It's me. I'm the problem.
I grew up on, the Batman TV show that my dad watched. Exactly. And then I was able to enjoy the Batman movies. Then we got the Batman animated series, which to me was the greatest thing ever. Yep. And it's just so fantastic. And, to your point too, seeing some of their misses, which they don't have many misses, but when they miss, like the Killing Joke.
They miss hard.
and it's just like, okay, we're going too far to left field over here. And it's just like, let MCU miss when they miss. Don't miss this on the animated stuff.
Did those come out around the same time as those misses over at MCU? Like throw them out? Yeah. No.
Yeah. And I mean, they put out so much, but I mean, I'm excited to see what happens with Creature Commandos and especially everything else under the Gunn and Peter S. regime. In terms of, last things for TV shows, I know we mentioned Waller. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, as much as I love Viola Davis, I mean, just like you said, EGOT, she's fantastic. I would have been good with just another season of Peacemaker. Apparently, a lot of the cast of Peacemaker is coming back for this show, and it's going to be a follow-up to the animated series, Creature Commandos. I just don't know what else there is to do with Waller. I would have just much rather seen a season 2 of Peacemaker now. I
will say that within the comics, there is a lot you can do with Waller. So I think there are people within DC, whether it be Gunn or otherwise, who are realizing they have the best casting for Amanda Waller you can get. And they have done nothing with it. They've done nothing with it. Yeah. And this is a chance to really do something with that. And I also think Viola Davis really wants to do something with it. I mean, this is one of the most powerful characters in DC Comics. And I think it's really important that fans see a powerful Black woman who is pulling strings and making Superman's life hard, making Batman's life hard. Pulling strings that are, completely changing the face of the DC universe as we know it. I think that's important. And even if this show is maybe not up my personal alley, I want to see it happen for that, because we're not seeing diversity behind the camera like I would like. Obviously Gunn has a history of diverse casting and of, being pro women, at least later on in his life. Which is good. Growth is great. I'm pro growth. I have no issue with that. So it's important that he's making moves like this. This is a good thing. Even if it maybe at first glance seems like, why does this exist? It exists because we need to see powerful Black women making moves, and we need to see powerful Black women who are ambiguous characters. We need to see more people of color who are ambiguous villains.
I like, hey, all the air horns on that. I love that. My daughter's going to be like, who is this girl? You're my daughter's new best friend right now. Because seriously, I was very well spoken, very well articulated. And now you have gotten me excited to see Waller because of that. Because to me, she is very underused in the DC universe. She is such a powerful actress. I mean, we already said it, like EGOT, you know what I mean? She's won a Tony. She's won an Emmy. She's won a Grammy. She has won an Oscar. She is fantastic. And I mean, the fact that she got slighted of a nomination for the Academy Awards for the Woman King is a travesty. And I talked about this before. So now you have me very, very excited for Waller. Because to me, it wasn't so much her. We've all known that she's a powerful, great character. It was just more like, why? Like, where is this going to fit in?
Do we know if she's cast as herself or if it's a story of how she got to where she is?
No, it's going to be her.
I don't know.
We did so.
I was actually just legitimately curious. I wasn't sure if maybe we didn't know, and like that's why it's there. So it's like how she worked her way into where she is.
Because she's in for that, and then she's going to be voicing herself in Creature Commandos on top of it.
I know Viola Wallace has said in interviews that she really loves the character of Amanda Waller. I think she's done her research on Waller, and in the comics itself, I mean, Waller makes big moves.
So in the background, like,
she does.
Not like a full story though. I think that's what I'm like wondering if it's just her. Like, what's her deal? Is that she's going to be commanding everything all at once? Like, will it be like the whole thing? Like, they'll get Suicide Squad, Task Force X, all that stuff, and the whole time she's going to be directing them.
Right?
Yeah.
Is
that the kind of movie is going to be, or show it's going to be, or is it like?
I think this has the. I think this has the potential. I mean, Viola Davis did How to Get Away with Murder. So I think this has the potential to be a really interesting like spy thriller. I don't know if we've had a lot of kind of comic book level,
Captain America
comic book villainy. Yeah, sort of Captain America-esque spy thriller, which I mean, Captain America Winter Soldier is still my favorite MCU movie.
Oh, 100%.
So I would love to see a DC spy thriller, and I would love her to see her kind of unravel, some Justice League plans to be like, no, that can't happen, and here's why. But she can't explain to the Justice League why it can't happen. Right. She just has to unravel it, and I think that's kind of. I think that's kind of fun to really get into the bureaucracy and politics of it, to be like, the saving the world is not always in the best interest of the United States of America.
Very, very well said. So, in terms of the last couple shows we got here, so we got Paradise Lost, based on World War II history, apparently, kind of a Game of Thrones theme with the, the background of Wonder Woman as far as
the Amazonians.
I don't know anything about this one. Yeah, I don't know anything about.
So this one is the one I definitely know least about. I'd love to get your take as far as because I haven't heard anything about this in the comic books or anything else. So,
I can.
I believe Paradise Lost is an Elseworld story in DC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently it's going to be a part of this universe, though. But it's going to be a TV
from
series.
Elseworld. So it's
in the comics.
Oh yes.
But in the actual comics, it's a
So it's going to be more of a Wonder Woman backstory, but not her backstory. More on
the Mysteria.
Mysteria.
Right, on the Themyscira. And it also in the comics takes inspiration from the actual epic poem by John Milton. So I think we're going to see quite a few. Inspiration from kind of religious undertones, very, very much that dark ideology of what is heaven, what is hell, what is morality in a sense, and the Themyscira kind of grappling with right and wrong, helping man, not helping man, obviously. So I haven't read that comic, but I do think I mean, my favorite parts of the first Wonder Woman were just Diana grappling with how can we sit by and let this occur while her sisters are like, not my monkey, not my circus.
We're over here chilling.
Fuck them.
Not my monkey, not my circus. So I do think that's a very interesting concept. I am excited for someone else's take on Wonder Woman. I did not like Wonder Woman 1984. I despised it quite a bit. So I am interested in kind of a new idea of Wonder Woman, and I'm interested in a Wonder Woman TV show. I think that's a smart way to go. I mean, Wonder Woman's had a really successful TV show before. I think the original Wonder Woman TV show changed the zeitgeist of pop culture, and for sure the zeitgeist of the way women in general viewed Wonder Woman and took on Wonder Woman just as a female and feminist cultural icon. So it'll be interesting to see if kind of that happens in any way again, and especially with a darker take, I think will be really important considering the current just a cultural and social political world in which we live in, especially following, the overturning of Roe v. Wade and just current ongoing legislation we have against women right now. So it'll kind of be interesting to see how Wonder Woman is taken up yet again by women.
Do we know who's directing that one?
We don't have again.
No
it's still very, very early.
Still just like all talking.
Yeah,
about it.
I think with TV though, you're going to see a lot of directors.
Like a new one every week, kind of deal.
Yeah. I wonder if we have a showrunner though.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, from what I saw, it's going to be very, Game of Thrones esque as far as history and background, which I'm super excited about. But so far, they're projecting about 2025 for that one. Deep down the lines, but interested to see what happens with that. And then the last one on the TV slate, buddy cop comedy. Well, buddy cop ish. Lanterns. Jon Stewart. Hal Jordan. We've been getting because we've been getting promised this for a while now. I feel like
Green Lantern Corps, all these things,
all 9 yards.
Why is
with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart for a long time now, and I feel like it's finally going to happen. So to me,
it needs to be Nathan Fillion. That's all.
Okay,
I just need it to be Nathan Fillion.
But you gotta have your Jon Stewart too.
Yeah, anybody. I don't care. I need Nathan Fillion, who's always been that guy in my head as that guy.
Yeah, so we're thinking a Lethal Weapon TV show here.
Yeah,
I just want Dexter.
So
I just want Dexter, the cat.
Oh.
Red Lantern, that's a cat. Dexter.
Oh yeah,
I'm not that familiar with all of the other lanterns.
Listen, I don't know anything about lanterns, but I know about cats.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm allergic, so I see a cat. I'm like, well, that's a thing.
Are you allergic to the Red Lantern cat?
I would be.
If I allergic to do this. Not just straight up off the comic books, but just straight off TV shows that I love.
Yeah, I love the Green Lantern idea. I think that I never could imagine they could get it right as far as like visual.
That's my thing.
And I would love it. I would love to be wrong. Please prove me wrong. Make an amazing. That's why it needs to be a show. Yeah. So it's contained. Yeah. All the special effects are in a small room. Yeah. It's not a giant galactic thing. Yeah. And then you could have a great show. It could be a great thing. I don't think we're there yet for a giant.
But if you think about it, though, if anyone can make this right, it could be James Gunn because he did split up the Guardians.
Okay, but how many times have they gotten intergalactic battles right with people one-on-one?
Do they have the budget? I'm surprised this isn't animated.
I mean, that's another reason why they keep it closed. They can keep the budget down too and see if it's a success or not. Because if they're only spending like $20 million on special effects,
eventually they are going to get to a big Justice League.
Great,
and they're going to want to have some form of the Green Lantern.
You saw it in
Snyder
Cut. You saw what it looked like. It looked good.
That's the only thing. As much as I loved the Zack Snyder Cut, the only thing I hated was there was only one Green Lantern.
Oh yeah. There should have been
in the Snyder Cut, and there should have been like the whole.
Yeah. There's the whole secret to anti-life equations on this planet. And we're just like, well, we won. Yeah. We're done here. See ya. Like, what? Like, there's problems everywhere. Let's not be.
Yeah.
Let's not get ourselves.
Yeah. Well, the Authority, which was my biggest question mark. I'm going into this. I know nothing about the Authority. I'll be honest with you. I've never ever lied and said I'm the biggest comic book fan. I love comic books. I collect the shit out of them. I will do whatever I can, but I want, you two to talk about the Authority, and then we're going to go from there because a lot of people are, question marks left and right. And that's the one thing I really wanted to cover in this episode is for, I guess you could say ours.
I never thought they'd even bring this into the DC. I never thought they'd ever do the Authority.
The Authority was slightly covered for one episode in Justice League Unlimited. If anyone remembers, it was breached. But I mean, the Authority in a way.
It's its own universe.
Yeah. It's
Not
also
even part
just
of this universe. They go in between universes. And so they don't even need to exist, which is why I thought they never would exist, because they're too outlandish. Like all
the Authority, we are going to have moments where it's going to be like Fight Club, where it's going to be like, you did not understand the point of Fight Club, my friend. Or it's going to be like Rick and Morty, where it's like, you want to be like Rick. You did not understand the point of Rick and Morty, my friend. We're going to have those fans, and it will be very interesting.
I'm really wondering how they're going to do it. Especially, I was explaining to Brian before we started, like the Midnighter, like the fact that that's even a character. And they're going to like, oh yeah, this will totally work out. He's going to murder people so horrifically and just like casually laugh about it the whole time. Like it's the character. If they don't do that, then why do it?
All right. Last two things here. Just want to quip like a quick thing on Swamp Thing. We excited. We ready. We pumped. But where are we at? Where are we at on this? And then we'll get to the Brave and the Bold right after the last one.
Give me Guillermo del Toro or give me death.
Yeah, obviously it's
wow.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love Swamp Thing. I loved Swamp Thing when James Wan was doing it. I was so angry when that show was canceled. I was so upset. I reviewed every single episode I was in. I love my comics when there is more horror. I love DC Comics when there is horror. I want Swamp Thing to be grotesque. I want body horror up the wazoo. I want vines coming out of people's veins. I want it to be gross. I want it to be weird. I want it to be disgusting. Like, let's go. I'm all in. I'm 100% in.
So that's a no for you on Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
So it sucks out loud.
That's a hard no. Yeah. Hard no for me.
Hard pass.
No, yeah, man. I was a fan of it before, and she even more sold me. Is there Guillermo del Toro in there, or is it just?
There's a rumor. Well,
if he doesn't, he's a fool. And then
I'm manifesting it. I mean, he wanted to do Justice League Dark with Swamp Thing.
Oh, then yeah,
and he's been wanting it for a while, and I think he'd be perfect for it. I mean, he's done projects similar to it. He's done projects with prosthetics like that, and he likes practical effects, so it makes sense for him to do something of that nature. He likes the weird. He likes the grotesque. I think it would be such a perfect project for him, and I think he would do it so beautifully. I mean, I'm putting the vibes into the universe. Am I saying it'll happen? No.
Well, please
bring him.
But you gotta let a girl dream.
Oh,
you know,
we're gonna let you dream because I'm all about it. So speaking of dreaming, one of my favorite DC movies of all time, let alone comic book movies of all time, Constantine. Yes. We got Constantine 2, apparently green lit.
Yes.
DC Eververse. Super excited about this.
Please have him cross over with Superman.
And that's what I'm talking about is this Justice League. Eventually, here's what I'm so surprised about. That like it seems like Disney / Marvel and DC are not super like enticed to cross over to the dark side as much as we would like them to.
Because the money's not there.
But it is.
Once you go R-rated, you don't get as much. That was
I know. But
I think Joker.
29.
As much as I hate Joker, you gotta say I gotta give Joker credit for finally, dipping toes in the water to say
it's one of the highest grossing R movies of all time.
Deadpool was like the number one.
Yeah,
R-rated
Deadpool's number one
ever. And then they've learned their lesson, which is great.
If we get a Justice League Dark movie before we get a Midnight Suns movie from Marvel, I think that's going to be the game changer to where everybody's like, fuck whatever. And I mean, let's be honest. Phase 4 of Marvel has not been great. Has not been fantastic. And it is what it is. Black Panther, a fantastic tribute to Chadwick Boseman. That's another episode for another day. But if we can get some Constantine, some dark action here sooner than later, I think we finally start getting the leg up on the Marvel Universe. That's just my
that
opinion.
is like 7 years down the line, it sounds like.
It does.
That hope and dream is like,
I know.
while we're aging
I
out
know.
of this whole thing. Like, there's just no.
Listen, some people are late bloomers.
Yeah.
Some people are late bloomers. Okay.
Oh, they said some people make rumors. I'm like, yes, please go on with the rumor.
Yeah.
I agree. Hey, we were talking.
I already made a rumor. It was Guillermo del Toro.
That's a hope and a dream.
No, I would
Some
love
girls want flowers. I want Guillermo del Toro to direct something.
That's a nice wish. What was the last
Love
one?
it.
The bold and the beautiful.
it. Yeah.
No,
So,
no,
The Brave and the
that's
Bold.
a soap opera.
The
on
Brave and the
CBS.
Bold.
Let's make that happen.
So this is the one which, I'll be honest with you. As a Batman fan growing up,
Oh no, let me sell this to you. It's okay. This is going to be Dick Grayson and Damian Grant Morrison run,
yes,
and I am
100%.
I love Dick Grayson.
so excited.
They're going for the golden age.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And that's why I'm super excited about this. And this is what I want. Yeah.
This
I don't
is
want
You didn't
I'm
need
not-
to sell
I'm
anyone.
not ready for
So
like
ready.
the Robin dying story. I'm not even over the fucking Batman dying yet. You know what I mean?
no.
I want just some classic Batman and Robin shit to finally hit the theater that doesn't involve nipples on the chest plates and just a good story and decent villains that aren't always the same villains. Like, give me Clayface.
Give me Professor Pig. All I want is
Give me
Professor
the
Pig.
Order
I
Owl.
knew you were going to say Professor
Give
Pig.
me something. Give me something else besides just the Joker nonstop. And this is my only gripe with the DC universe. It's like there are so many awesome villains.
The Rose
So
Gold is
many.
great.
And we just always go back to just like the Joker, of course. And then occasionally we get the Riddler sprinkled in. And then, we get an Arnold Schwarzenegger version of
The Garage.
Doctor. Yeah. Mr.
Freeze.
You know what I mean? It's like there's so many more. Give us some
You're cold.
Everybody, chill.
Everyone.
Be sure to check out the Believe Podcast Network, betonline.ag for all your sports betting needs. And of course, for all of our online comic book shoppers out there, rabbitcomics.com. Say hi to Brandon and Melissa for me for all your exclusive variants and much, much more. On behalf of everyone here at Zero Dark Nerdy, thank you again so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Peace.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
Hey, it's Michelle Beadle. That's right, the Michelle Beadle. You're welcome. You love talking about sports. I love talking about sports. You know the only thing cooler than talking about sports? Sports! And right now, all your favorite sports are on Sirius XM. I'm talking every NFL game, every game from the NBA, NHL, MLB, every NASCAR race, golf major conference college sports, and all the top games in the WNBA. If it gets your heart pumping, it's on Sirius XM. To start your free trial of Sirius XM today, visit SiriusXM.com/believe.